will you talk?
Yeah, totally.
Delphine was dancing.
I'm having volume issues.
Yeah. Good morning, Colorado. Kelly, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right, let's roll. Thank you, Kelly, Jenny, and Leslie for supporting us and putting today's meeting together. Our agenda, we've got some announcements. We've got a tech update with our regional tech trainer, Leslie Jackson, not to be confused with Leslie Jackson. We've got Agent and Market Center Awards, a market update with Cooper Thayer, and then Brady Sandahl is going to be here. He's our Director of Growth for Luxury. Runs a team in Palm Springs, California as well, and he's going to be talking about how to break into luxury and how to sell more luxury. So let's get to it. We've got an event coming up at Smedra called Dominate Listings with Real Estate Planning. We're bringing in Dan Ahara from, I think, Maui, somewhere in Hawaii. And he's going to be talking about how to get into more conversations with high net worth individuals, how to help investors build wealth. He's going to be talking about transfer of wealth. This is a $49 event. It's 9 to 2, June 3rd at Smedra. If you are an ALC member, the event is complimentary for you as a thank you for supporting our market centers. Let's hear from Dan.
Top agents, are you ready to level up? On June 3rd, I'm leading a powerful in-person 4-hour hands-on masterclass called What's the Question to Secure More Listings. This is training designed for the elite agents ready to serve baby boomers and their parents, one of the most profitable and underserved markets in real estate. You'll learn exact questions to convert these listings into signed agreements. You're going to learn advanced tax strategies that'll help you reduce capital gains taxes for your clients. You'll also learn how to use a 1031 exchange to help you and your clients preserve and grow wealth. And also how to position yourself as a go-to real estate wealth advisor. This is a high level, high impact, and built for those who really are ready to lead. Seats are limited, so secure yours today. I'll see you there. Aloha.
All right, so don't miss this event. Whoops.
Top agents, are you?
We've also got upcoming the Leverage Series with Peter Chabris. Feedback when Peter was here last summer talking about listings was so great that we decided to hire him to do Leverage Series for us. This year, it's July 29 and 30, 9 to 4, also at Smedra. You'll do the career visioning first day, and then second day is 30, 60, 90, and success through others. So if you're looking to make a hire, or you're just simply looking for some leverage in your business, don't miss the Leverage Series with Peter Chabris, July 29 and 30. All of our events can be found at kwcoloradoevents.com. It's a great thing to bookmark so that when we add new things, you'll be notified. We want to thank our sponsors like Top Flight Home Loans, Growth Minded Talent Solutions, Rocky Mountain Title, Choice Home Warranty, and the coordinator team for their support for our region. And I think we've got Desiree and Lindsay for a quick KW Cares presentation. Desiree, is it just you or is Lindsay here as well?
I don't know.
I'm here, Russ. Good morning.
Okay, I can't see you on my screen. We will spot.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, take it away.
Morning, everyone. Desiree Alvarez, your KW Cares rep. I just wanted to jump on real quick and let you know we are super excited. We're about halfway through. We have about a little less than 2 weeks left of the month to get our market centers to the $888 target that we wanted to try to reach to you. I know that Lindsay and I have texted a lot of the team leaders directly, so it's not spam. It's actually us sending you this text with your actual, what's the name? What am I looking for? Lindsay, help me out here.
the link to the fundraiser page.
Yeah, your fundraiser page. So you should have that. If not, we can go ahead and email it directly to you. That way you could just copy, paste it. If you have private Facebook groups, if you want to, attach to all your agents, just to rally everyone up. We would really like to see every market center get on the board. Something, every bit counts. So if you can all rally these last 2 weeks and let's get it going, we would really appreciate it.
All right. Here, by the way, is donations by market center. So congrats to Castle Rock, Summit, and downtown Colorado, North Jeffco for leading the way on those local fundraisers. Anything else, Lindsay, Desiree?
No, and I was just gonna say, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, I selfishly would love to see Colorado be on the leaderboard through the nation. I know they're doing weekly ones, so these other market centers that haven't, I mean, it's super easy. You just scan the QR code, and it goes through it. So I just think it's important for the state to be able to do that. So if you guys have any questions, or like this one too on the bottom, if you just even copy that in there and type in your market center, they made the website super easy for us to be able to do those donations.
Yeah, easiest way to get there, kdbcares.org.
And if you have any
follow the process.
questions,
Go ahead, Desiree.
yep. And if you have any questions, I know that it was mentioned that some of you can't find your market centers. So feel free to reach out. I don't know if I could type my contact number into the box there. We can help you do that and locate it.
Perfect.
All right.
And I did just put the link in the chat too for everybody. So super easy. Then just find your market center, and then we'll follow back up with you guys. But thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now I want to turn it to Leslie for our tech update. Leslie?
Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. This week, as usual, I will be hosting our regional tech training class at 11 a.m. every Thursday. This one's going to be fun because this is really going to be focused. This week is going to be focused on the KW Command app. And I'm telling you, the KW Command app, you guys can do everything that the KW platform can really do on your desktop. So come and learn, because this is really how you can be very efficient with your time as you're out there showing homes and signing contracts. All right, next slide. As usual, YouTube channel at KW Colorado Region, it's number 7. All right, update, that's okay. The update for this week and the past 2 weeks are websites. Go check out the Design Studio inside Command. You'll head to your Command desktop and then log into your website applet. There are now 2 new themes and colors, Mint Light and Mint Dark. Very minty. I love them, these new color themes, so go check them out. Next slide. All right, that was great timing, Russ. Thank you. Campaigns. Really cool update inside Campaigns. So now when you go and create your Facebook ad or Instagram ad, or maybe they're together, there is a really cool way at the very end of that experience when you start to pick the budget for your ad. It will now give you a little pop-up that says, here's the estimated lead count that you will be receiving based on the criteria that you have given it. So if you give it a $50 budget, maybe it's 2 to 5 leads. Increase that budget, you'll probably get an estimated lead count that's a bit higher than that. And again, folks, this single word estimate is very important. Nothing guaranteed, but go check it out. And that is me, Russ. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. We're going to now do some agent recognition from our April results. We'll start with top individuals, closed units in the number 5 space. Dan Egan with 6.5 units. Number 4 is a tie with 7 units each. Tim Wade from Denver West and Joe Clare from Southwest Colorado. Number 3 is a 5-way tie. The Krylov Group from Central, Rediger Group from Southwest, Sheila Bailey from Denver West, Jill Laka from Pueblo, Lydia Galesh from DTC. Congratulations all. And the top 2, Hussein Garcia from Denver Downtown tied with Jenny Hart from Longmont, and Faith Young led the way with 13 units closed. Great job, everyone. Moving to volume, number 10 was Sarah Young. Number 9, Colorado Dream House Team. Number 8, Samantha Gallant. Number 7, Dan Egan. Number 6, Hussein Garcia. Number 5, the Krylov Group. Number 4, Corey Martin. And our top 3 for closed volume, Sheila Bailey, with 5 million, Jenny Hart with 5.5 million, and Tim Wade 6.1 million. Great job all on your closed volume. Last category, GCI. Dan Egan came in at number 10, Daniel Palomino, number 9, Sarah Young, number 8, number 7, Colorado Dreamhouse Team, number 6, Hussein Garcia, number 5, Joe Claire, Corey Martin was number 4 in the top 3, Sheila Bailey, the Krylov group, and Jenny Hart led the way with $144,341. Congratulations. Moving to team, which means 2 licensed agents. Number 5 for closed units was Margaret Gade Holmes. By the way, Margaret Gade was on stage at Mega Leadership Camp last week, and she did such a great job representing our PCs in our region. Thank you, Margaret, for being so great, and thank you for being on the call today. Also for number 5, the Locale Group, Livian Amaya Property Group, Clink Scales Home Team, and Pasternak Properties. Number 4 with 5 units closed, Platinum Home Properties Team tied with the Thompson Group. And our top 3 for closed units. Number 3, the Conterra Team tied with the Artisan Group, tied with AN Homes, tied with Harberts and Sons Homes. Number 7 was a 2-way tie, JC Denver Home Team and the Q Group. And number 1 from Northern Colorado, the JK Team LLC. Moving to volume, Ideal Ascent from Summit was in the 10th spot. Pride of Denver Group, 9. The number 8 spot was the Artisan Group. The number 7 spot, the Q Group. Number 6, Harberts and Sons. Number 5, the Thompson Group. And number 4, JC Denver Home Team. Our top 3 for closed volume teams, the Conterra Team, JK Team LLC, and A&N Homes it was in the number 1 spot. Great job. GCI, Pride of Denver came in 10th. Harberts and Sons Homes, number 9. Margaret Gade, number 8. Lark Mountain Group, number 7. Number 6 was the Thompson Group. The Q Group was number 5. JC Denver Home Team, number 4. And our top 3 GCI, the Conterra Team, JK Team LLC, and AN Homes was first with $137,570. Great job, teams. Groups, this is 3+ licensed agents. For closed units, Relevate was in the 10th spot, the Phoenix, the 9th spot, June's Team, the 8th spot, Dixon Group, the 7th spot. Number 6 was the Awaka Group. Number 5, Luchek Group. Number 4, the PCS Pro Team from downtown Colorado Springs. And our top 3 closed units were Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group, tied with Jamie Baker Orr Team. Number 2 spot, Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range. Number 1 spot, the Johnson Team with 44 closings. Great job. Volume, Relevate was in the 10th spot. Colorado Legacy Home Team, the 9th. The Fuda Home Team, number 8. The Lions Group, number 7. Number 6 was the Dixon Group. Number 5, the Luchik Group. Number 4, the Awaka Group. And our top 3 closed sales volume. This is, let's see. Number 3 was Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group. Number 2 was Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range. Number 2, Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group. Sorry about the typo. And number 1, the Johnson Team. Great job, groups. And GCI, number 10, Relevate. Number 9, June's Team. Number 8, Tetford Team Real Estate. Number 7, Colorado Legacy Home Team. Number 6, Fuda Home Team. Number 5, the Luchik Group. Number 4, the Awaka Group. And our top 3 GCI were number 3, the Johnson Team. Number 2, Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group. And number 1, Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range. Great job all. Moving to expansion. Expansion is included if the hub is in Colorado. For closed units, the Phoenix was number 3, Selling Southern Colorado number 2, and the PCS Pro Team number 1. For volume, PCS Pro Team was number 3, the Phoenix number 2, Relevate was number 1. And GCI, the PCS Pro Team was number 3, the Phoenix was number 2, and Relevate brought in $246,033. Great job to all of our top producers. Market Center recognition for closed volume, Denver North was in the 5th spot, Client's Choice the 4th, Denver West 3rd, Denver Downtown second, and Denver Tech Center far away led in closed volume with 146 million. Units, Grand Junction was in the 5th spot, downtown Colorado Springs 4th, Denver West and Client's Choice tied for 3rd, Denver Downtown 2nd, and with 205 units, DTC. Listings taken, Denver West had 106, Denver Downtown 126, Pueblo 133, Client's Choice 158, and Tech Center led the way with 172. I'm turning it to Cooper for a market update. And Cooper, I think you've got your own slides, right?
I do. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Cooper Thayer. I see a lot of familiar faces, but if you don't know me, I am a proud KW agent with the Keller Williams Action Realty Market Center, which serves Castle Rock and Parker. I'm highly involved with all the realtor associations, and one of my passions, of course, in this industry is sharing market trends and statistics with all of you. So I'm going to give a quick update today just on what we've seen in the past couple weeks, couple months in terms of the market statewide, and then drill down into some metro areas as well. And really, this is a high-level overview of some interesting statistics that we've seen over the past, month or so. Number one, and this is not a great place to start, but it is a harsh reality, is that last month, Colorado ranked 3rd in the country out of all states in the percentage of listings that had a price cut. We had 29%, this is Realtor.com data, 29% of listings in Colorado saw a price cut last month. And the only states that exceeded that are Florida, barely at 29.8%, and Arizona at 36.8%. So if you look at our monthly data going back about 10 years, we are in an elevated state of price cuts. Typically it can peak around 40%. That's what happened after the craze in spring of 2022 ended. Last year we peaked just over 35%. Typically that happens in the late summer. And this year we're probably on the way to about match that. Later in this summer, we're probably going to see that number jump up a little bit more. But right now we're hanging out at around 30% of listings in April are cutting their price. And why is that? Well, we have a ton of inventory. In fact, this is an interesting metric called the surplus inventory, which takes a look back at our historical norms of inventory levels and compares them to what we have today. So Colorado actually ranked 2nd of all US states and DC in surplus inventory. 61.7% higher than normal inventory statewide. We really are feeling that elevated, if you've noticed in the past month, we are really feeling that elevated inventory level. In fact, we have about 50% more listings on the market today than we typically have this time of year. So again, only beat out by DC in terms of our long-term average versus the current level of inventory. So we are certainly feeling that pressure, especially on the listing side where we have this surplus inventory and it's getting very competitive. So looking around the state where that inventory is, the Denver metro area leads the way in terms of the highest percentage against the long term. So Denver, Aurora Centennial, it used to be the Denver, Aurora, Lakewood metro statistical area, actually led the way at 99.6%, which means versus the long-term average, we are actually looking at about double the nominal amount of inventory on the market right now. Pueblo and Colorado Springs also had very high inventory. You can see the trend is really the front range is feeling the brunt of that excess inventory. When you start to get out into the Western Slope and some of our mountain markets, there's not quite as much of an inventory surplus. And in fact, Durango and Rifle are two of the unique markets that are actually in a historical shortage in terms of the number of homes that are on the market. The result of this, of course, is more time on the market. And the median time on the market right now in Denver metro area is hanging out at about 3 weeks. That's our 12-month average. So, time on market varies so much throughout the year. We like to look at 12-month averages to see what our time on market looks like, year to year, because month to month, there's so much variability. So last month, this is for pending or closed listings. So this figure is calculated based on the activation date to the pending date. So it doesn't account for the active listings on the market. And I can tell you a little bit about that stat, but Last month, 13 days was the median, so not bad at all, 2 weeks. Looking at our long-term, rolling 12-month average, we're at about 3 weeks. We've seen it peak before in the past, this January. That monthly median actually peaked at 25 days. Right now is about our trough. We tend to hit the bottom of time on market in April and May, and it starts to return back up as we enter into the late summer and fall season. So caveat here is, we're still within those historical norms. Obviously over the past, the quote normal market that we like to compare to 2015 through 2019, that 12-month moving average was hanging out at about 8 to 9 days. Right now, it's about double that. So we are seeing that elevated time on market, and it really is a direct result of more listings on the market. Now, in the condo market, we're actually seeing some price declines, unlike single family. Colorado statewide last year saw about a 3.6% appreciation rate overall. Condos have really pulled that down. And I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. Condos are very tough affordability-wise right now. We don't have a lot of affordability. We have troubles with HOA. We have troubles with insurance. And what we've seen is in the past couple of years, condo prices have actually come down about 4% since the beginning of 2023. So definitely breaking the long-term trend here. Again, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing considering we really need more condo affordability in the market. And one of the things that's going to help drive that is more inventory. More inventory is going to help keep those prices down, help open up the buyer pool, help provide more products to that entry-level demand. And this year, we just came to a close with the state legislative session. We passed a big bill, House Bill 1272, which focuses on construction defects and helping to lift some of the litigation risks from condominium developers to hopefully get more condo inventory. Really interesting stat that was in the Denver Post yesterday is in 2012, the average age of a condo purchased in the US was 26 years old. In 2024, it was 38 years old, which means they both have the same vintage, right? So in the past 12 years, the average age of a condo sold has not increased. What does that tell you? Well, we've got an aging housing stock in the condo market. And this is one of the drivers behind those HOA fees is that aging condo stock is at higher risk for assessments, needs repairs, needs higher cost maintenance, and it's really prohibitive, especially at the entry-level price points for those, HOA dues for buyers in that category. Now, I know that we're going to hear some luxury today, so I want to share some luxury statistics. Here's what's going on in the Denver market in terms of luxury, which I classify as about 1.5 million plus. We've seen persistent sales growth over the past 5 years. In fact, the number of units sold right now is, or over the past couple months, has been higher than what we've seen before. So we are seeing sales growth, but we are, of course, seeing that slow down just like the rest of the market. Last month, median days on market was about 13 or 14. So certainly not much more elevated than what we are seeing in, the broader market as a whole. And this is going to be my favorite slide I show you today. Really just the beauty of statistics here and show you how these different stats correlate with each other. So this shows our inventory of homes in months of inventory in that 1.5 million price range over the past couple of years. And you can see right now, we are at a little bit of an elevated level. It really came down to below 2.5 months during COVID. But as sellers reduce their prices, buyers offer less, right? And this is especially pronounced in the luxury segment. And this just shows you the direct inverse relationship between the list price to close price ratio and the time on market. I mean, it is almost perfect, right? This shows you that this, reduced list price to close price ratio in the luxury market is driven, or at least heavily correlated inversely with inventory, right? So homes are sitting longer, sellers are reducing their prices, buyers are offering less, and we get this inverse relationship between the inventory on the market and what percent of their list price those listings are receiving. So I want to give you a little bit of strategy to think about as we enter into the summer market right now. For listings and representing sellers, aggressive pricing and accurate pricing are really, really, really important. In that last typical market that I like to talk about, 2015 and 2018, we actually averaged about 100% list to close price. That is list to close, not original list to close. So keep that in mind. But on average, sellers were getting what they were asking for on the market. Past 3 years, we've averaged about 99.2%. So about 0.8, just about a percent, which, when you think about the average house last month in the Denver metro area was, the close price was $610,000, 0.8% is just about $5,000 that we may be, expecting to negotiate down. So key number one, accurate and aggressive pricing. Key number two is differentiation. Right now, at this moment, we have about 24 or 25,000 listings in Colorado. That's about as high as that number usually gets. And listings annually typically peak in September or October. So we're likely to see more inventory to come. We're probably going to have 26, 27,000 listings on the market come September, October. So you really need to focus and drill this into your clients' heads that they need to focus on differentiating their listings. Because we are seeing, I can tell you from our personal business, we are seeing a lot of neighborhoods where you've got identical homes on the market. They are near comparable, square footage wise, quality wise, bedrooms, bathrooms, and it is just a race to the bottom price wise. But you don't have to join that race to the bottom price wise if you are differentiating your listing, whether that be improving it prior to sale, whether that be employing new marketing strategies, whether that be staging, new types of professional photography, drone photography, virtual tours, video. All those things are very, very important right now to differentiate your listings amidst 25,000 plus listings on the market in Colorado. And on top of the price expectations, we also have new concession expectations, which brings me into my buyer strategy, right? For representing buyers, giving advice to your buyers, go hard on concessions because sellers are expecting it right now. This is one of the craziest things that I tend to show in these presentations is our concession data. So in the past 5 years, the prevalence of concessions, or actually the past 4 years, the prevalence of concessions, that is the number of listings which log a concession in the Denver metro area, has more than doubled. We're up to, in March, 62.79% of single family transactions logged some sort of seller concession. And of those transactions, the average amount was $11,356. So we've got twice as much concessions and they are twice the amount. So that's 4 times the total volume of concessions today compared to just a couple of years ago. And this is really important. Obviously, interest rates have remained elevated. We're still hanging out up in that 7% range, and we probably will continue to hang out in that 7% range for the time being. So this is really important to compensate for those elevated interest rates, for those elevated HOA costs, for those elevated insurance costs. Utilize those concessions because sellers tend to be stickier on their price than they do on concessions. Now, my mom always taught me that I should end on some good news. So I'm going to give you guys some good news today. You've probably heard a lot about property taxes. We're in a reassessment year, so everybody's property taxes are going up across the board, unfortunately. And you've probably heard a lot about metro districts increasing property taxes. But some good perspective here is that the national average property tax rate as a percentage of your property taxes paid versus your actual home value is about 0.9%. In Colorado, our average is 0.4%. And it has decreased over the past couple of years. In fact, in the past decade or so, we've come down from about 0.6 to 0.4. And even in some of our, typically higher tax areas, like you can imagine some of the more notable metro districts, Sterling Ranch, Green Valley Ranch, right? Those are the 80125 and 80249 zip codes. Those come in at about 0.6%. So even those are below the national average. So just some good perspective when you're looking for more reasons. I know we don't need more reasons for people to buy in Colorado. It's already the best state ever to live in. But just another marketing point is that we have relatively low taxes, property taxes compared to the rest of the country. That wraps it up for me. I would love to answer any questions if we have time. That'll be Russ can let me know if we've got time for that. If not, please feel free to reach out. I always love to have discussions about the market, and we can chop it up and go over some more data. I am happy to be your personal real estate nerd in Colorado. So thank you all.
Thanks, Cooper. We appreciate it. We've got Brady Sandahl waiting to do his luxury presentation. So we appreciate you, Cooper, and see you next time.
You got it. Thank you very much.
All right. Leslie, can you put Brady on the spotlight?
Well, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I am now one of Cooper's big fans. So we're going to move him out of Colorado into Palm Springs, California. We'll order business cards right away. It's great.
I love it. Brady, where are you today?
Today, I'm on the big island of Hawaii, spending time with our Hawaiian agents, and then I'll travel over to Maui tomorrow to lead our monthly KW Luxury Pro Speaker Series. And then I'll travel back over to California on Friday.
Awesome.
We're playing the travel game.
That's awesome. Okay. Tell us about luxury.
I just want to congratulate Cooper on what he did. I mean, to have that amount of data and then taking the data and paralleling that into what you can do with it, it's helpful. Most of you know I'm in Palm Springs, California, and while I lead luxury, I'm also in production. And, our average days on market is 52. And what I can tell you is that price cannot be the reason why someone buys or sells. So if you're looking at luxury, don't think that price is the motivator. An owner has another reason besides price to do what they're doing. And generally a buyer will as well. So I'm thankful that we get to have a conversation today. Russ and Kelly asked me to talk with you about how do you break into the different levels of luxury. Some of you don't have a perception that you're in luxury yet, and some of you are already there. And Leah, I agree that Palm Springs is probably my favorite place as well. So I want you to think about this. You've heard me say it before, that luxury is not a price point. It is one of three things. And I would ask you to write these down because this will probably be the headline you'll use for the rest of the year. It is a mindset. It is your mindset. It's the mindset of the consumers that you serve. It is a behavior. In other words, the experience that you give them or they want from you. And most importantly, it's a brand promise. It is what you have set in the market, the brand promise and the perception. So if you're kind of waiting for permission to get into it, consider this your green light. You have my permission to get started. There are about 10 things I think that you need to recognize to get into the next level of luxury, whatever level that is. Number one, you have to own the identity before the opportunity shows up. In other words, too many of us think that they've got to become the luxury agent before they sell their first one, or they have to live in a 5 million before they sell that. That is not it. You have to own the identity before that opportunity comes up. So let me think about this for a minute. You don't wait to sell a $2 million listing in order to become a luxury agent. You first have to show up as one. So there are a couple of things I want you to think about, strategies. Number one, upgrade your digital presence. Remember, a consumer has a belief that you can do something, and they're going to validate that belief based on your website, your Google reviews, your Zillow reviews, whatever you're using, but update your digital presence. You've got to update that. Look at your bio, look at your photos, look at your language. Is your narrative talking about your success in 2020, or is it speaking to 2025? Second idea, audit your business card. Is there too much on the card? Can it be similar to a luxury brand? If you look at every luxury brand that's in your head or every luxury brand around you, there's not a lot of clutter. They don't talk about all the different awards on a business card. They basically say who you are, what you do, for who, and how they can reach you. And the third thing I want you to think about is, remember, confidence always precedes commission. Very rarely, very rarely do consumers hire someone who isn't confident. So in that first idea of owning the identity before the opportunity, think about those things. The second thing I wrote down, and I haven't changed this very much, I've been using this for years, know what the consumer really values. In other words, as my price point goes up and I'm in front of the seller, I'm not doing a lot of the talking, I'm doing more of the asking. So remember, luxury buyers aren't buying homes. They're buying you for the elevated service they think you can give, or they're buying you for the elevated access they think you can provide. They're buying for the level of certainty they think you can offer. It's rarely about buying homes. It's about buying you to give them what they think you can give them. They generally want to have discretion. They generally want to have expertise. And most importantly, oftentimes it's the outcome. They want to get that house at the price that makes sense. Remember, along the way, they're going to expect that white glove, not white knuckle experience. I was just in Tokyo, and even the Uber drivers wore white gloves. The Uber drivers wore white gloves. The level of service in Japan is absolutely exceptional. If you've not been, I highly recommend it. The third thing I wrote down, and I always share with people, is refine your language to match the market that you want to serve. Luxury clients definitely speak a different language, and your words will either invite them or disqualify you. So be careful on the language that you use, because the words you use will either invite them to come forward or it will disqualify you from the opportunity. So what that means is you're going to say things like residence or estate, not property or house. You're just going to use language differently for the market that you're going to serve. And remember to use benefit phrases. So when you use a benefit phrase, it's driving the benefit closer to the consumer. So off-market access, tailored market strategy, something that shows a benefit. The fourth thing I've always followed is you want to make sure that you're shadowing or partnering with someone who understands luxury. You could shadow the absolute best hotel. It might be the Four Seasons in Denver. Or you could shadow someone who knows how to sell house to a consumer that stays at the Four Seasons in Denver. But there's really no need for you to kind of do this by yourself. If you're not in that luxury room yet, borrow someone else's key. In other words, ask to go along or bring them with you. Bring them with you. Offer to host their opens, sit with them, watch them, observe them, learn them. And that could be for your first $1 million. That could be for your first 5 million. That could be for your first 10 million. Remember that exposure to luxury is educational. So I found someone on my team. Well, this is a little weird. He was putting up open house directional signs, hustling through August, which 120, putting up open house signs. And I followed him to the open house. And I knocked on the door and I said, "Hey, my name is Brady." He's like, "I know who you are." I said, "I want to know more about you." Basically took him through a very fast career visioning process. Well, he had never been exposed to luxury. In fact, when we had our first training, we had the training at the Ritz-Carlton in the desert. Now, if you've been there, it's at the top of the mountain. And he calls me at 9 o'clock. He's like, "Hey, I'm here, but I don't know where to park my car." And I said, "Well, you park your car at valet." He's like, "I've never used valet." I was like, You've never used valet at the hotel?" He's like, "No, I've never used valet. What do I do?" I said, "Well, you drive your car up to valet and you're going to park the car." He's like, "Well, then what do I do?" I was like, "Well, you're going to get out of the car." He's like, "Well, then what?" I said, "Well, then you're going to hand the key." He's like, "Are they going to give the car back?" Hopefully not, because that wasn't a great car. Hopefully they're going to run it off the side of the mountain. But that's another conversation. But From that moment of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., his entire persona changed. Remember, exposure to luxury is educational to luxury. So the fifth thing I've always followed is become the local market specialist with a global point of view. Now, I can tell you that our team of 7, we list, put in escrow, and close 1 home a day. That's our model. 20 days a month, 20, we're far above for May. And the only reason is we're understanding the motivation and pricing, motivation pricing. But would it surprise you to learn that almost 80% of those buyers did not come from my market? They came from possibly your market. In fact, 5 of the buyers we've helped so far came from Colorado, and not one of them was referred to us, which means their agent back in Colorado missed out on a referral opportunity. So as you're talking with your people in Colorado, it's not about what are you going to do in Vail, Aspen, Breckenridge, Durango, Denver, Aurora, but where else are you thinking about buying or selling? What if you became their global advisor and you never had to leave the market? Remember, Keller Williams has offices and people in every major, medium, and small market. So think about this. To the luxury consumer, your local insight is your superpower. I mean, they are looking to you locally as the superpower expert. But if you pair that with a global perspective, if I'm following Cooper and I know the average median days on market is this, and mine is at 52 or 60, I can help a Denver consumer buying in my market know that it might take a seller 52 days to get a full price offer. That's true. In fact, I just had a listing that was almost 80 days on the market and the seller got a full price offer. So by having the local insight with a global perspective, you can help shape the direction of your business. Know the latest local stats, know the directional shifts. We look at our market data every 7 days. Every Monday, we go back 7 days. We look at the trends, like how many buyers bought. And of the buyers that bought, how many of them bought luxury? Well, 29.8% of the buyers who bought in the last 7 days bought things over $1 million, and 8 of those were over $3 million. We studied that week over week after week. That's important to know that. Number 6, level up your visual brand. Now, this may surprise you, but this morning we announced our new global luxury consumer site. We spent 18 months rebranding our entire luxury consumer site, which means we now have an experience similar to a hospitality brand. So luxury.kw.com is the new consumer site. And by the way, now consumers can go to any market and search agents based on the market they're in. So no longer if you type in Breckenridge, is an Aspen agent going to show up? It's going to be hyper-focused on Breckenridge. Or if they're focused on Denver, agents can't try to get into Denver when they're not in Denver. Also, consumers can now go to any city, any state, any country, and they're going to find the Keller Williams luxury listings first before they see the other brands. Well, here's the good news. You have a chance to update your own presence, your own brand. Luxury clients notice everything. What you've put out there, if they like what they see, they're going to listen to what you eventually have to say. They're going to create a feeling about your brand. So whatever you put out there, like our new consumer site, it's got to be exceptional. It's got to be easy for them to find, quick for them to get the data, beautifully finished. So point number 2, we took all of our luxury collateral, everything we've ever designed for everyone in the company. It's available to you free of charge on Canva. Specifically, go to Command. And then on Command is everything you need to list a luxury property is there for free. All the social campaigns, the marketing campaigns, the mailing campaigns, All those templates are available to you. We put those up a couple months ago. That's all available for you to use. If you need help, check with your local market center. Remember that we now on our new website are going to have digital blogs. So if you're doing something exceptional, we want to know about it because we're going to share that not only on the blog, but with news stations around the world. Point number 7. Get in the rooms where luxury conversations actually happen. It might be a conversation like this. It might be a conference group over in Colorado somewhere, but get into those rooms. Your next luxury client won't find you at the grocery store. I mean, that might happen. They're probably going to find you in a country club, at a gala, as you're serving on a board, but get into the rooms where luxury clients exist. Attend the fundraisers. I'm not saying break the bank. Find a way to get into those rooms. And remember, you want to build the presence before you share the pitch. You got to build the presence before you share the pitch. Now, let's say that you've worked through those 7 and now you've got the consumer experience. Here's number 8. Create a signature luxury experience. Breaking in isn't just what you say. It's not what you say. It's what they feel. And remember, if they like what they see and they appreciate what you have to say, that's not where the emotion is. The emotion is how they feel. So think about what could you do to be a lifestyle curator more than just a sales agent. Number 9, this is careful because I'm going to ask you to be a storyteller, not where you're going to breach confidentiality, but you're going to tell stories of success. So for example, I know if something hasn't sold by day 21, I've got to lower the price. Well, every time I lower the price in luxury, literally, showings start to happen, second showings happen, and offers come in. Well, that's how you can storytell. Hey, I hear your problem. I've helped someone just like you solve it, and I can solve it for you too. Remember, luxury consumers are looking to you to solve a problem or build an opportunity. So borrow that credibility. Tell those stories without breaching confidentiality. Share your team member success, your brokerage success, Keller Williams success. You can share those stories. And then number 10 is whatever you choose to do for luxury, be consistent at doing it. Think about the luxury brands you love. I mentioned Four Seasons. I love Ritz-Carlton. I actually love Nordstrom. I love Starbucks. I don't go there as much, but I still love it. The consistency of those brands, regardless of the price point, helps create a presence, an awareness, and market growth. Luxury is less about that arrival, and it's more about the alignment. It's more about the alignment. So in Maui, I'm going to teach a class called the Entrepreneurial Flywheel. And it's a small vignette of what I'm going to talk about at Symposium, which is our global sales conference. And basically, I'm going to cover 5 of the things that entrepreneurs need in order to have a flywheel. And if you've been a kid or you have kids or grandkids, you know that if the flywheel's not working, everything's out of sync. Well, luxury is about that alignment. It's making sure that you're doing what you need to do every day so that you have the alignment for you and the customers that you serve. So those daily activities become daily habits, and the daily expectations become the daily realities. And the goals and outcomes that you want become noticeable and achieved by the clients that you serve. So remember, you don't really break into luxury, you behave your way into it. And that's from your very first one all the way to the price point that you want. Your image, your words, your standards, your service are the signals. They are the signals that you send out to the luxury world. And trust me, the luxury consumers are always watching, always watching. In fact, I was at Auberge last night, which is a beautiful hotel right down the street from my house here in Kona. Now, I had just left the Ritz-Carlton in Tokyo, and I'm going to go to Andaz, Maui, for our Keller Williams Luxury Pro event. Guess who sent me a message? The Ritz-Carlton. Hey, we know you're in Hawaii. How come you aren't going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton Maui? I said, well, I'm going to be on the other side of the island. Okay, cool. We just want to make sure we notice that you're not with us. What if you had that same approach? What if you let your clients know that you were there thinking about them and you wanted to be there to serve them regardless of where they were going to next? So a couple things I want to share with you. Number one, I lead a Keller Williams luxury training call the first Wednesday of every month. And that's always at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock my time. But the first Wednesday of the month, it's the 1 hour that we work on the business. Not in it, we work on it. And 2 weeks before that, I give to all the team leaders the training module, which they can find on Circle. So that's option one. Option two is make sure if you've earned your way into KW Luxury, and there's 14,000 of you who have, you've got access to Circle, because everything I do, everything that we provide, everything that we share, everything we record is right there on Circle. If you don't have it, email our concierge team, luxury@kw.com, luxury@kw.com. The concierge desk works Monday through Friday. They'll give you the access to Circle. Everything we do is right there. Third, for those of you who are in luxury, meaning you're in that space, you've earned into the division, that is complimentary. We have several events happening throughout the year. Our monthly event happens close to you. The third week of July, we're going to be in Jackson Hole. So if you want to come to Jackson Hole the third Wednesday of July, we're going to be there for our monthly Keller Williams Luxury Pro Speaker Series. It's a great reception, 2.5-hour training mastermind, and a curated lunch with the head chef. And then if you're working your way over to a symposium, that's our annual global sales conference. That'll be in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, October 25th through the 27th. This is the one event a luxury agent does not want to miss. In fact, we open up with 3 big keynotes. Where is the luxury consumer today? What does the luxury solution look like today? And where do you need to be to deliver that solution? Well, that's just the half day. And then if you've been to symposium, you know that all of your parties, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinners are included in your registration fee. The next day are 6 workshops, actually gritty workshops on what you need to know, watching them do it. You practice it at your table. You come out of there with a beautiful workbook. And then, of course, we'll end with a practice session. We've got 4 boardrooms where you're sitting with experts asking questions, and they're going to guide you to the solution. So those are just some of the ways you can become involved with KW Luxury. Go to discoverkwluxury.com. Discoverkwluxury.com is a great resource. And again, everything is there on Circle. I'm going to look at the questions. Let's see. Command is all the luxury templates. You're right, Leslie Jackson. Yeah, Leah. So when any agent, even it's their very first day, they list something that qualifies as luxury, they get to use those templates free of charge. And then when someone's earned into the division where they've had 4 sales in 2 years, they can use all those same templates to market themselves as a luxury agent. All that's free. Great job on your new $1.6 million Palisade. You get to market that as a luxury listing, which is fantastic. Erin, good to see you on screen. I love Erin. She is terrific. Perfect. Yeah, your team leader will have all the thresholds for the counties that you serve. Remember, a luxury property is determined luxury based on the county that it's in, not the county that you're in. Russ, I think we've covered everything. What questions can I answer for you or Kelly or anyone on the call?
I have none. Does anyone else have any questions for Brady? Brady, can you say that first thing you said? You said there were 3 opportunities or options to learn about luxury. You said something about a 9 a.m. meeting. I think it was the first week of the month. Can you give those details again?
Yeah, so we have created what's called the KW Luxury Training Call. It's open to everyone in the company. In fact, market centers around the country are hosting watch parties. It'll start the first Wednesday of every month, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Central. It's a 1-hour conversation where I give the team leaders the training module in advance. They're going to print the module out. They're going to go through the module together. And our luxury concierge team has parked that information on Circle. So it's right there. And every team leader should have this on their monthly training calendar. The second opportunity would be any one of our KW Luxury Pro Speaker Series, the one closest to you next. I mean, Maui is going to be on Wednesday. Come over to Maui. June, I'm heading over to Toronto. July, I'll be in Jackson Hole. August, will be in San Antonio. And the third thing would be Symposium. That's our annual large global sales conference. And Russ, I think I might be coming back for Rocky Summit. Is that right?
I can't remember if you're coming or if Caroline's coming.
One of us will be there.
One of us.
So
one of
whenever
you-
that will be, you're going to have luxury right there for all of you.
Yeah, that'll be September 20th, which is the Sunday before the Rocky Mountain Summit, which starts on the 21st. Brady, I think it's Caroline this time because you've been
Terrific.
with us the last 3 years.
She's
So,
exceptional. She's
so
great.
yeah, so we'll do a luxury retreat in Vail at the Hythe.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir, for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Be
All right,
well.
enjoy Hawaii. Take care,
Will
everybody.
do. Mahalo.
Thanks. Our next regional rally is June. Let me just make sure I got the date here. June 16th, Monday, June 16th. See you all soon. Take care.